Aska, the energetic and strong mother. Yamato, the younger brother who's always in his own little world. Follow us as we karate kick all your daily frustrations away. Asuka's revenge.
I'm Fubuki. This is my wife, Arina. We got married 8 months ago, but there was something on my mind.
Eat up.
She loved sugar. She put it on everything she made. And she didn't use it as a flavor. She sprinkled it on top of everything like salad dressing. And the sugar crystals were really big. Maybe this would taste better without all this sugar.
What? No way! The sugar adds a nice finishing touch.
She loved sweets. She put sugar on everything. And I mean everything. Grilled fish, pasta, you name it. And she always put on so much. I always choked on it. Not really. I choked on the sugar crystals. Maybe you shouldn't put so much sugar on these.
You alright? You should chew more.
She seemed to really enjoy this, though. She's not a bad cook. She just ruins everything with all this sugar. But whenever I tell her not to put on so much sugar in everything, she gets really upset. Look, I don't mind you using sugar as flavor, but can you stop sprinkling them on top?
But I don't want the sugar to melt. That's why I always put them at the end.
She just didn't get it. I always got sick about halfway through the meal. I'm gonna get sick. How is she okay with this? I could barely eat anything at home. Over the past few months, I lost a lot of weight. The only decent meal I could get was at the office. I ate like a pig during lunch. I know it wasn't good for me, but I had no choice. You've been eating a lot lately. Yeah. A few weeks ago, I got a health checkup. Luckily, they didn't find anything wrong with me. Probably because I didn't eat much at home. But my wife, she was getting kinda chubby. She eats like a pound of sugar every day. No surprises there. She wasn't like this before we got married, though. I wonder what changed. How do I stop her from eating so much sugar? Then, I came up with an idea. One weekend, I hid the jar of sugar before she started cooking. I better have a talk with her.
Hey, the sugar's gone. Do you know where it is?
No. Come on, the food's getting cold. Let's just eat without the sugar. But then...
But...
She kept looking for that jar of sugar. I couldn't take it anymore. I finally snapped. Stop! Just stop, okay? I want to enjoy my meal without all that sugar, please! I raised my voice at her. My wife started crying.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. As long as you get it.
Let's eat before the food gets cold. I'll get more sugar tomorrow. No worries.
What? No, that's not my point. Whatever. As long as I can enjoy my meal without sugar. So good. The food was delicious. She was such a good chef. This is amazing, I said to her.
But it doesn't taste as good without sugar, right?
No, it tastes much better without sugar. She just stared at me for a while. Then...
Wait, you don't like sugar?
I better tell her the truth. It's not that, but the way you use it. It's too much. You're an amazing chef, but you ruin it with all that sugar. I just want to enjoy a normal meal, that's all.
What? Why didn't you say anything then?
I did! I told you 1,000 times! We got into a fight after that. She didn't speak to me for the rest of the day. The next day, I better have a talk with her once I get home. If she does this again, maybe I should take a picture of it and send it to her parents. If she won't listen to me, maybe her parents can help. Then, a few hours later,
Dinner's ready!
I looked over the table. It still had sugar on it, but not as much as before. That's better, but still, that's not my point. I don't want sugar on my food, period. I made it pretty clear that I didn't want sugar on my food anymore. I told you to stop putting so much sugar on the food.
I used less though, see? You'll get used to it, I promise.
What on the earth is she talking about? She just doesn't get it. Why is she doing this to me? Look, I'm going to tell you again. I don't want all this sugar on my food, okay? I told you this yesterday, and every time I tell you this, you end up crying. And eating all this sugar can't be healthy for you. So please. I tried to be as calm as possible. After I was done, she said to me,
So, you want me to stop using sugar because it's unhealthy?
Yes, but not only that, it just doesn't taste good. I don't want to eat sugar crystals for dinner. But then, she started crying again.
You don't like it? But I was doing this for you. I just wanted to put a smile on your face.
Then stop using so much sugar!
But that's exactly why I'm doing this.
She snapped at me. There was just no talking to her. I give up. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Then, I called her parents. So yeah, over the past 8 months, she's been putting a lot of sugar in everything, and I tried talking to her, but she's really upset now. Will you come over and talk to her? Arena was screaming outside the bathroom door. Her parents said to me,
We're on our way.
Phew. 20 minutes later, they arrived at the house. The sugar was starting to melt a bit, but it was still there. Take a look.
What is this?
What the?
I showed them some pictures as well. They were both stunned.
I'm so sorry about all this.
They apologized to me, but then
Why are you apologizing to him?
my wife snapped.
Why are you doing this to him? He said he doesn't like it. Look at him. He's all skinny now. Apologize to him right now.
Her dad told her to apologize.
Sorry.
I don't think she meant it though. Her mother didn't know what to do. I told her to stop many times, but there was just no talking to her. I think I need to be alone for a while.
I understand. We'll look after our daughter in the meantime.
Thank you.
What? But she said she was sorry. You're not moving out or anything, are you?
Just give him some space. We're gonna talk to our daughter too. Let me know once you've figured out what you want to do.
Then, on their way out,
I'm so sorry for everything. It must have been tough for you, having to eat that every night.
then he handed me $200 and said,
Here, eat something good with this.
Thank you. So they took my wife with them. It was such a relief, but there's just no talking to her. How am I going to make this work? About a week later, my father-in-law called me.
I asked her to cook for us the other night, and I was shocked. I don't understand how she can eat this, but she genuinely thinks that it's good. I don't get it.
Yeah, I could barely eat at home over the past 8 months.
So sorry to hear that. When I saw you, I was surprised to see how skinny you were.
Well, at least her father was normal. The thing is, I really have a hard time talking to her. It's like she doesn't understand what I'm saying to her, you know? I just don't know what to do.
Come over to our house when you can. Let's all have a talk.
So, that weekend, I went over to their house to have a talk. I thought long and hard about this. I want a divorce.
What? Because you don't like my food? You can't divorce me over that.
Shut up and listen to him.
Wait. You're cheating on me, aren't you?
Be quiet! Stop interrupting him! He could barely eat anything at home over the past 8 months! And that's all your fault! You get that?
Her father was furious. Arena and her mother started crying.
Why?
Look, it's not just about the sugar. I don't know how to say this, but I just can't talk to you anymore. It's like we speak a different language or something. Sorry. Here are the divorce papers. I'll convince my daughter to sign them. I handed her father the divorce papers. A few days later, he sent it back to me with her signature. Finally, I went to the city office and submitted the papers right away. I called her father to let him know that it was done. Let me pay for your damages. No, it's okay. It was only 8 months and you really helped me out, so... After the divorce, I went back to live with my parents for a while. It was so nice to be able to enjoy a decent meal without sugar crystals.
My name is Kotomi. I live with my husband, Yuma. He has a younger brother that works at a famous corporation. He's married to another woman who works in his workplace, but they are both pretty terrible people. Yuma and his wife are always making fun of us for being poor, right?
Yeah, he'd always had kind of a rotten personality. But to make things worse, his wife is also rotten. They make a good match. I just don't tell them about our updates because it's going to fuel the mockery fire.
They have had a 2.5-year-old daughter named Mammy, but they never asked my mother-in-law to interact with her. They always ask the wife's parents that live 3 hours away by bullet train to come help. Talk about a rotten personality. I mean, they probably want to brag about being rich, but maybe they should just stop being stubborn and spending money and start saving money. However, because of that, we've been dealing with our own mother-in-law very much as a result. However, one day, the wife's mother-in-law had herniated a disc and ended up in the hospital. No one was around to look after her anymore. During the weekdays, they hire a babysitter, but suddenly, last Saturday, the couple showed up, openly mocking us. We're going to Hawaii with just us, so here you go. And asking us to babysit. We never agreed to this, but they were saying, do not let mother-in-law take her. Also, don't let her eat this, and get her in the bath by 6 p.m. For some reason, she started telling me exactly what to do.
If you hang around our child, you'll probably get a heightened sense of what it feels like to be a mom and get pregnant real quick.
He said, acting like a smartass. I was just about to complain when they left, leaving the child. So I, of course, called my mother-in-law immediately and had her look after the child. Mammy-chan, it's your grandma, Glammy. She showed up to our house happily and took the child back to her place. That was 6 long days ago. Why did they think I wouldn't let my mother-in-law take her?
Yeah, they're coming home tomorrow, right? I'm excited to see their faces.
It's your fault too, Yuma. You told them that we work from home, right?
Sorry. They hate having our parents look after their child, so I figured they wouldn't come to our house. I let my guard down.
Yuma had told them that I worked from home, and they must have thought, hey, this is an easy way out for us. Why do they not like your mom anyway? I don't know what happened, because they got married before me.
Well, it's really silly, but it was just who was going to get invited to the wedding. Honestly, both of them are at fault with each other.
That's it?
They both slowly started inviting more people without asking. And then there were people who couldn't sit at the day of the wedding. it turned into this who's gonna leave situation.
Apparently, they stopped seeing each other after that. Seriously stupid.
But my brother apparently asks my mom to look after Mimi when his wife is away on business trips or something.
That's why Mammy was so okay with her today.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
The next day, the two came over to my house while my husband was still out. They didn't have a single souvenir, by the way.
Mimi is at your mother's house.
Why? I'm going to sue you.
How rude!
You literally do the same thing without telling your wife. Look, I never said okay to watching your child. You just showed up and left without consent. You basically do nothing from home, right? Work from home jobs are trash anyway. That's not the attitude you should have when you ask a favor from someone anyway. You tell me what to do with no please. You realize that you only packed like a single day's worth of clothes. You didn't leave any money to look after the child either. You don't have any kids, so I taught you valuable knowledge. Yeah, I have no kids, so I have no idea how to look after a child that age. So I figured I'd let our mother-in-law, who is very knowledgeable in raising kids, take her. That's so rude. That's why you can't trust poor people. Hey, I could have just reported you to the authorities because you abandoned your child. You understand that, right? I was going to pay you, depending on the state of the child. I'm going to sue you. I just snapped after that. What? You want to try suing me then? And what do you mean you're going to pay me after you saw the condition of your child? We're not some daycare for your daughter. They were too afraid to deal with me and fell silent. You didn't call once during the week to check on your daughter. You're gonna make me laugh. Then I turned to my brother-in-law and said, I don't know if you're afraid of your hysterical wife or what, but when your wife is away on business trips, you let your mom take care of your daughter. Don't act like I'm the crazy one. Mammy-chan seems to be doing great, so pick her up and get the hell out of my house. Don't ever come back. I chased them off. I was hoping they would stop after this. They apparently went to pick them up immediately, but I don't like you, Mommy. I'm going to stay with Daddy. She refused to go with them. Apparently, the mom would get hysterical quickly and scolded her child pretty bad. She wanted to stay with my kind mother-in-law. When she tried to bring back her daughter, don't be ridiculous. We're going home. What's going on? Why would you say that to your own 2-year-old daughter? My mother-in-law stopped her, and then there was a fight between the two. Of course, my brother-in-law took his mom's side.
I'm too tired from this. Let's just let her look after kid and come back tomorrow.
What the hell? The hysterical woman got heated and tried to attack my mother-in-law. She dodged her attack, and so the wife fell onto the steps and broke her arm. That's what I heard from my mother-in-law. However, this afternoon, my brother-in-law's wife's father called me.
You do realize none of this would have happened if you didn't give the child to your mother-in-law, right? How about taking responsibility, huh?
What? Are you saying that after hearing what happened, if you are, you're a little insane? You and your daughter both. As soon as I said that, the relatively calm father said,
What are you talking about? She said that you didn't have kids, so you asked to take care of the child. It turned out that you couldn't handle a child, so you asked your mother-in-law to take her.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't believe your pathological lying daughter before you rage call us, huh?
I'll go talk to her.
He hung up the phone. So stupid. Afterwards, when my husband came home, I got a call from my mother-in-law. Hey, I want to talk to you. Can you come over? My mother-in-law often invited us to eat, so I was actually just thinking I was too lazy to get food ready, so let's go, huh? We both headed to her house, but noticed that my brother-in-law and his wife, along with her parents, were there. The person who's responsible for this should apologize before we eat. I gotta get all mad again. I'm tired of this. Then my husband, Yuma, said,
You know, a lot has happened, but you realize that my wife works at home, right? She's working, and you leave your child to look after her? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, Yuma, you tell her.
You didn't ask us at all about what our plans are, and you just showed up to look after your daughter. You had 1 day worth of a change of clothes without any money to look after her. You're insane.
I also asked you about if you were free or not. You said you'd be happy to take the child. You didn't want money, you were just happy to hang around Mammy. I didn't think it was right to give the child to you, but I felt bad because you don't have kids. Then you just randomly gave the child to your mom? I feel so bad for Mammy. Apologize.
No. My wife would never agree to take the child. I don't know what you guys think. I don't care where you work, but my wife is a super popular designer and has many deadlines this month. She has no time to be playing with a child. She barely has time to cook at all, let alone take babysit. She makes 5 times the amount of money I do. We were going to give you your child back, but you ran away to Hawaii. We don't know how to contact your parents. What else were we supposed to do? Thinking about Mimi's well-being, we have no choice, right?
Yuma, you badass!
Mom was able to look after Mimi for a week, so who cares? All's well that ends well.
That's true. I think it was smart for Kotomi-san to reach out to me.
You want to quit your work, but you can't because of your loan? Your wife doesn't like Mom? I don't care about that. You've made these choices all on your own. Yeah, don't make us take responsibility for your poor decisions.
Man, her lying problem is pretty bad though. Huh. She was trembling from rage and turned a bright red. I'm going to sue you. You can sue me all you'd like, but I have all the interactions between what happened when you dropped off Mammy on the camera facing our entrance. We don't want any burglars, so we've got a lot of cameras set up.
Go ahead, sue me. By the way, I've checked the cameras. It's all there.
I think you'll lose, though. Go ahead. This is exciting. Let's go home, Yuma.
Yeah, it's late. Let's go by a restaurant. And don't talk to us ever again. No contact whatsoever. Got it?
Yeah. If this happens again, we're going to call the authorities on you. They looked pale before we left. Thank you for protecting me, Yuma.
You did wonderful too, Kotomi.
Afterwards, they had found out about the wife's lie, and she was scolded into oblivion by her own parents.
You should have just asked a mother-in-law to begin with!
Because she had the broken arm, my mother-in-law would look after Mammy for a while. I love you, Grammy. I hate Mommy. I am so worried for your child. Apparently, my mother-in-law is rubbing it in her face. But thinking about Mammy-chan, this is probably better overall.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm Kotomi. My husband and I had 3 beautiful kids. We were living with his parents. His brother and sister were living with us as well. So there was 9 of us in total. All right, dinner's almost ready. Go clean up your toys. Okay! My father-in-law still worked. My mother-in-law taught flower arrangement at home. I was a housewife, but whenever my mother-in-law was free, I asked her to watch the kids so that I could help my parents with their business. I got the plates.
I'll grab the glasses.
Thanks. One day, Yuta, my husband, said during dinner,
Man, I wish I was a housewife. You don't have to do anything.
Seriously? Apparently one of his colleagues told him that housewives had it easy.
All you gotta do is watch the kids and do some housework. I can do that with my eyes closed.
I agree.
Then his father started agreeing with him.
Housewives have it easy.
Yeah, they don't have to work at all.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
And these days, you can look up any recipe online.
Yeah, but you still gotta think about nutrition and calories.
And you get to take naps all the time, I bet. Ugh, you're so lucky. Who do you think pays for the heating bill?
What? She never takes a nap. You know how hard it is to do housework for 9 people?
Whatever. Housewives have it so easy.
Hey!
I didn't want any trouble, so I said to them, you wanna try it then? I get up at 5 every morning to make breakfast and lunch for everyone. Then I take the twins to kindergarten, make lunch for your mother-in-law and my 2-year-old. Then I go to the grocery store, pick up my kids from kindergarten, and make dinner for 9 after that. You sure you can handle it? To which my husband said,
Easy, but I got work, so...
He tried to talk his way out of it. What about the long weekend next month? That shut him up. His long vacation was coming up. He didn't have to go into work for 2 weeks.
Well, I kinda wanted to relax, but...
He started stuttering, but then his sister said to him,
Huh? But it's easy, right? I'm sure you can handle it.
Then my mother-in-law said to her husband,
Oh, you too. From now on, you're helping me on the weekends.
He didn't see it coming.
You both said it was easy, right? Don't back out now.
My brother-in-law helped me out as well.
Ugh.
They weren't gonna talk their way out of this. All right, gather around. After dinner, I held a meeting. I showed them the household account book and explained to them how I managed the budget for groceries. I gave them a month's worth of grocery money to get them started. Then, the next day, all the cleaning items are here. I showed them around the house and told them where everything was. I told them to take notes because I wasn't going to repeat myself. Okay then, I'm going to be working 8 to 5 from now on. Good luck. There was an opening for a part-time job near the house, so I decided to give it a try. Any questions?
No.
No.
Day 1. I woke up around 6 a.m. My husband was cooking in the kitchen. He wasn't that bad at cooking.
Looks pretty good, right?
He had already made lunch for everyone.
From now on, I'm gonna make lunch for everyone to save money. Why don't you ever cook for my brother? He should eat better.
He said to me,
You're so lazy. My brother deserves better.
Seriously? Your brother... I don't cook for him because his girlfriend makes him lunch. And I used to make him lunch every day before he got a girlfriend. You don't remember? I said to him. And I told you, your brother didn't need lunch. And neither does your mother. She's going out today, so... I told you this yesterday. And you made the same thing for breakfast and lunch. I'm not complaining or anything, but it might get kind of dull. Okay, I'm fine with it, but your dad has high blood pressure, so maybe this is too much salt for him. I said to him. Then, why is this one different?
Huh? Our youngest son is allergic to eggs, right?
What? Is he serious? It's the twins that are allergic to eggs, and they're fine now. I told you this. Our youngest son has no allergies.
Oh,
You don't know anything about your kids. He was speechless after that. After that, he took the kids to school, cleaned the house, and did the laundry. When I got home, my brother-in-law said to me,
I left the house around 10. He started doing the laundry then, but when I got back around noon, he was still doing the laundry.
Well, there are 9 people here, so it's a lot. He was struggling a lot. I explained everything to him, but I guess he didn't take notes. Then for dinner, he made us potato salad, fried chicken, and miso soup. But
Ugh, the chicken is still raw. Yeah, and so are these potatoes.
I'll make it again.
I didn't want to make them wait. So I got up and helped him out. He couldn't do anything right. He just sat in silence. The next morning, he made the exact same thing again. For dinner, he just got some pre-made food from the deli. Then, 4 days later, he finally gave up and apologized to me.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. I can't do this anymore.
He was exhausted.
I'm trying to lose weight. No fried food. My shirt is wrinkled, and so are these. Do it again.
Stop complaining.
He snapped at them, but
You said it was easy. You're pathetic. Yeah, and you're the one that's always complaining.
that shut him up. Keeping a nice home is a lot of work. You understand? We had a long talk after that. Don't ever talk to me like that again. Got it? I said to him.
I won't. I promise. I'm sorry.
Good. Well, you still got a few weeks left to go, so good luck. I still gotta go to work, so...
What? Hold on. Wait,
He apologized to me over and over again, begging me to help him out, but I had to go to work. He had no choice but to keep his end of the deal.
Help him!
And my mother-in-law pressured her husband to help out as well. I didn't want my family to get food poisoning, though, so I helped him out with dinner every now and then. And everyone in the family was really supportive. They all helped me out whenever they could. Daddy, play with us! And the kids seemed to enjoy having their dad around. Then, on the last day,
I'm truly sorry. I really appreciate what you do for us every day.
I'm sorry too. I take it back.
Glad you guys understand. Kotomi is holding this family together.
Yep, you said it.
Thank you always, Kotomi.
it was really sweet of him to say that.
Okay then.
And so, things went back to normal after that. I love doing housework, and I love my in-laws, so I always did my best to keep this house nice and clean.
Housewives have it easy.
So when my husband said that to me, I couldn't let it go. But when I told my mom about what happened,
You went too far. You shouldn't have gotten their family involved.
whew, she yelled at me. Sorry. Then, at the office,
During the long vacation, I did things around the house for my family and it wasn't easy. Housewives don't have it easy at all. You should stop saying that to people. I'm telling you.
Well, you're kidding me, right?
but his colleague didn't listen to him. Then, when his girlfriend found out about all this, she dumped him. Sucks for him, but oh well.
You still love me?
Well, when you said those things to me, I wasn't so sure, but I'm not mad anymore. And you always work hard to provide for us, so thanks, babe.
Right back at you, Kotomi.
It was a rough couple of months, but glad everything worked out. I'm Kotomi. This is my husband, Tomoki. When my son was in high school and my daughter was in middle school, he cheated on me. He said to me,
I'm in love. She's the one for me.
I didn't even know what to tell him. He was older than me. At the time, he was 47. He was a really trustworthy person. He had a drink every now and then, but never caused trouble. And he never gambled. He was a really good husband. I thought I knew him. But then, after he told me he was in love, he changed. He stopped going to work, and he started spending a lot of money on this new girl. What happened to you? Come back to me. I was really hurt. I couldn't believe this was happening to me. I wanted things to go back to the way they were, but... And the kids started to notice. And when they confronted him about it, he said to them,
I haven't done anything wrong.
he didn't even try to hide it. A few days later, we decided to have a big family meeting. Both of our parents came. But even then, Tomoki kept saying,
I'm in love. I want to live. I want to be free.
I was so embarrassed. Both of our parents were speechless.
Just leave him. Yeah, Mom, forget him. He doesn't even come home these days.
Maybe they were right. But for some reason, I couldn't make up my mind. I don't want a divorce. I kept saying to them, it wasn't that I still had feelings for him. It was quite the opposite. I wanted to make this difficult for him. I felt betrayed, and I wanted him to pay. Then, a few days later, Tomoki brought his girlfriend to the house to try to convince me.
Please divorce him.
They started begging me, literally.
I'll pay you in full, please.
It was pathetic. I don't know. I kept saying no. They really frustrated me. His girlfriend finally snapped and yelled at me.
What gives you the right to stand in our way?
We're
We're
in
in
love.
love.
Just let us be together.
I don't know what to do anymore. I'm not getting a divorce. But they didn't give up.
We're gonna get married no matter what. She's the one for me.
I love you, Tomoki.
They kept coming over to the house trying to convince me. They offered to pay me more and more every time. But then one day, I noticed something. His girlfriend was acting a bit strange. She seems different today. She barely said anything that day. What's going on? I didn't say anything, though. After they went home, I looked over their offer. This is a lot of money. It was way higher than the average. Then it hit me. She was starting to get worried about the money. I see. She doesn't want to pay this much money. It was starting to make sense now. And his girlfriend, I think she was starting to lose her feelings for him. She might love him, but she doesn't think he's worth this much. That's when I decided to put a stop to all of this. It was time to move on. I'm done. I knew exactly what I had to do now. It's such a weight off my shoulders. I told my kids that I was ready to move on. I'm gonna divorce him. Sorry about that, guys. To which they said,
Finally. Thank goodness.
I'm happy for you, Mom.
thanks, guys. It's time for me to move on. So, I called Tomoki and my parents over for a meeting. I accept your offer, but you have to pay me in full. I said to him, it was a ridiculous amount of money, but I told him I was ready to put this thing to bed. So, we got a deal? I had to raise 2 kids on my own from now on, so I could use the money. I called Tomoki's mother and told her the same thing. All right, now all we have to do is hand in the divorce papers. But then, his girlfriend ran off. I knew it. She quit her job, packed up all her stuff, and ran off one night. Needless to say, she didn't pay a dime. I knew it. It was way too much money for a divorce settlement. She realized that Tomoki wasn't worth that much money. She was right about that. He's not worth anything, if you ask me. Then, why did I spend so much energy on this? I should have left him months ago. I'm such an idiot. He already signed the papers, so I signed my name and got all the necessary documents. Then I ran to the city office and handed in the papers. Hurry, before he changes his mind. The paperwork went through without a problem. Finally, we were divorced. That night, Tomoki tried to come home as if nothing had happened.
Who the hell are you?
We don't have a father. Please leave.
You should have seen the look on his face when they said that to him.
I'm sorry.
He called me after that and said,
I'm not paying you a dime.
He snapped at me. Well, you don't really have a choice. If you're not going to pay, I'm going to call your parents. So I did, and they convinced him to pay me in full.
We'll make sure he pays you in full. Don't worry.
A few weeks later, he paid me in full. It was a lot of money. Woo! I win. Tomoki went back to live with his parents, but his parents kicked him out of the house in less than a month. He tried to get back with his girlfriend, but she was already with another guy when he found her. He texted me, begging me to take him back, but I ignored him. It's time to move, and I need to get a new number. Tomoki texted me non-stop.
let's start over.
Seriously? I don't think so. There was no chance in hell. He just doesn't give up. Ugh. A few months later, the kids and I moved into our new house. Glad that's over with. I was so relieved. It was such a weight off my shoulders. I'm just glad he's out of my life, and glad everything worked out.
I'm Fubuki. I'm a 28-year-old businessman. This is my wife, Elisa. She was 3 years younger than me. And that's Masuki, my son. He's turning 1 in a few months. But one day, when I came home, I caught my wife cheating on me with my best friend. Wow. Just wow. They didn't hear me come in, so I snuck out the back. What now? And the thing is, tomorrow he was getting married, and I snuck around the back to surprise my wife, but man, I didn't see this coming. Maybe I should take a picture as proof. I don't really want to, but... So I opened the front door, walked in, and took a picture with my phone. They froze up.
I can explain!
Fubuki, it's not what it looks like.
I had nothing to say to them, so I got my son and left the house. That piece of shit. I was so upset. He even asked me to give a speech at his wedding. I practiced it for weeks. I feel like such an idiot. Damn it. And my wife was 4 months pregnant. She said she couldn't do the housework due to the morning sickness, but she looked pretty okay to me. What am I gonna say at his wedding? I couldn't take my son back to the office, so I dropped him off at my parents' house and asked Mom and my sister Asuka to look after him for a bit. Sorry, can you watch him until I get off work?
Hey, Mutsuki. Of course. What are you doing here?
Something came up. Look, if my wife comes here, don't hand him over. Then I went back to work. I could barely focus that day. I started to think about what to say in my speech tomorrow. If I embarrass him in front of everyone, can he sue me for defamation and stuff? After work, I went back to my parents' house to pick up my son. I had dozens of missed calls and texts from my wife, but I ignored them. I'm home! As I walked in, my sister came running towards me.
Hey, Elisa, she's here. She's crying.
Huh? Tell her to leave.
She won't tell me anything.
No surprises there. I went into the living room. I didn't even look at my wife.
Fubuki, listen to me!
Hey, Masuki, you missed me? You have fun with Grandma? Come here.
Fubuki, hear me out!
I'm going to go home once to get my tuxedo for tomorrow, but I'm spending the night here tonight. Get the hell out of here, now.
Listen!
I thought you were down with morning sickness. You looked pretty fine to me. I went back home to get my tuxedo. Alyssa followed me there.
Fubuki, please listen to me. Talk to me!
About what? Divorce? Just leave. You're going to the wedding tomorrow, right? You want to talk to me? Do it there. Oh, and needless to say, I'm taking Masuki. Then I walked out and headed back to my parents' house. The next day. All right, I'm off. I'll be back in a few hours.
Fubuki, what happened?
It's a long story. When I got there, Alyssa was already there. She kept looking over at me. Alyssa and my best friend. They called me dozens of times last night, but I ignored all their calls.
Next up, a word from the groom's best friend.
I got up there and read my original speech. My friend looked really nervous. His wife seemed really touched. He looked like he was about to throw up. Anyways, congratulations. I wish you guys all the best. When I said that, my friend seemed really relieved. Oh, and one last thing. I always thought you were my best friend, man, but I was wrong. You see, yesterday I saw something shocking. I even got pictures to prove it. Anyway, I gotta go. Goodbye. Then I walked back to my table. I was pretty upset. I really thought he was my friend, so I felt betrayed. The other guests seemed confused. I grabbed my son and got ready to leave. But then,
Excuse me,
the bride's brother came running up to me.
what was that about?
Then, his parents came over.
Yeah, tell us what happened.
So, I told them what happened. I sent the picture to the bride's brother. Then I walked out of there. I wanted to expose them in front of everyone, but I was afraid he might sue me for defamation if I did that, so I decided to only tell his family. When I got back home, I told my family about what happened and that I was going to divorce her. She slept with my best friend, so I'm gonna stay here until the divorce is finalized.
We should talk to her parents. She's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A few days later, her parents came over to the house. They just kept apologizing to us. I'm gonna divorce her once I find out who the father is. Until then, I want her out of the house. Then, a few months later, the divorce was finalized. Phew. A few days ago, Alyssa gave birth. The baby was mine. Thank goodness. So I took custody of the kids and divorced her.
You can have the kids.
She didn't even put up a fight to get the kids. That was a relief. In the divorce proceedings, I sued her for damages. The courts ordered her to pay me $50,000.
I can't pay that!
She agreed to pay me in installments. She started working as a hostess to pay me back. But then a few months later... Wow, she paid me in full? Maybe she got remarried or something. One day she paid me in full out of nowhere. Turns out she started seeing this older guy. He was a CEO or something. He was in his 60s. When she came over to see the kids the other day...
I had no choice! It was gonna take me years to pay that off!
Okay. Whatever. Good luck to you.
Screw you!
She was really pissed at me for some reason. Oh well. Oh, and as for my best friend...
We dated for 10 years. How can you do this to me?
His fiancée sued him for $100,000. I also sued him for $25,000. He was screwed.
I can't pay that.
And many of his colleagues were at the wedding. After the incident, things got really awkward for him. He ended up quitting his job.
You're a horrible person. Burn in hell.
And his fiancée's brother tore him apart. He was up to his neck in debt now. And he lost all his friends.
What's wrong with you? You make me sick. Don't ever call me again.
He was all alone now. He had nothing. He tried to get back with Alyssa, but...
You ruined everything! This is your fault! Get out of my face!
He went back to live with his parents after that. Raising 2 kids on my own wasn't going to be easy, but my family helped me out every step of the way. I think I'm gonna take a break from women for a while. Anyways, glad everything worked out.
My name is Yamato. I'm an office employee. I've always been a calm person and hate arguments, but ever since I was a child, I've had a pet peeve. That's the type of person who tries to steal someone's happiness. I'm done. I'm breaking up with her. I want you to hear me out first. I have a girlfriend named Alina that I met in the office, but...
Can I have some?
Every time we eat together, she tries to take what I'm having. Both of us live with our parents, so we often go to restaurants and whatnot during dates, but when I order something, she'll only order a salad. Is that enough? You always want more, so you should order real food.
It'll be enough.
But when our food shows up, she tries to eat my food. I said order your own food!
What? I can't finish a whole meal, so it's a waste of food.
But you said a salad isn't enough, right?
I'll eat a little of yours, and that's enough for me.
Then order something that doesn't have so much on it and leave it if you can't finish it, I said, thinking that was common sense.
How can you suggest something so rude?
She screamed at me. I mean, yeah, you should finish your food, but to me, it's more rude to constantly steal other people's food. She says she's really only taking a bite, but she actually takes quite a bit of food off my plate. You've been taking quite a bit off my plate every time, too, so I don't think you'll leave any behind.
What is that? Don't act like I'm being cheap. I don't eat much.
I'm skinny, but I eat quite a bit. Honestly, one serving is often not enough for me. So it's pretty rough when people take my food. When we both go to eat together, I often have to eat more once I get home.
Huh? You're eating more.
Oh yeah, it wasn't enough. It's not just when we go out to eat either. When we go to watch movies and I buy a Coke.
I'm good. I don't want any.
But then she steals my Coke during the movie and I have none left to drink.
It's empty.
If you're gonna drink some, buy your own.
I can't finish it, so I just want to ask for a little.
The second I complain about it, she always says,
You're so stingy. You should be a man about it.
it's not about the money, you know? Even when we go to McDonald's, she only orders apple pie and hash browns. Otherwise, she drinks my Coke or my hamburger. Seriously, cut it out! It's really stressing me out.
Come on, it's just a bite. Cheapo.
This had been continuing for the 3 months I had been dating her. She's starting to look like a fly to me recently. I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna have to break up. Honestly, I can't date a girlfriend who's doubling up like a fly. So I suggested breaking up with her. Let's break up.
Why? I don't get it. Did I do something?
She really didn't know that I didn't like this? I was surprised by her response as well. I told you, I can't really deal with people who steal my food.
What? You're seriously going to break up with me over that? You're so uptight. How do you call yourself a man?
I don't really care what you think, to be honest. I just can't handle it, so let's break up. She started talking crap about me as a man, but I was able to break up with her. I'm sure she's gonna run around telling people about how terrible I am to the guys at work, but honestly, I'm just glad we were able to break up. Just like I imagined, Alina was walking around telling all her co-workers about how I was the worst person imaginable, and that she dumped me.
She's talking mad shit about you, dude. Are you okay with it?
Honestly, I don't care. I'm sure the truth will show up eventually on its own. I'm just gonna leave it alone. 2 days later, I went to a nearby restaurant for lunch with a coworker that I was good friends with.
I'm gonna have the seasonal meal.
I'm gonna get the shrimp fry and hamburger. Ugh, it's Alina.
You don't regret breaking up with him? Not at all. He was honestly just too stingy and cheap for me. So yeah, the smallest things bothered him. What? He seemed pretty calm to me. I thought he'd make a great husband. Nope, he's definitely easily annoyed. He was always so kind when we were working together, and I've never seen him angry. He's just putting up an act in the office. Anyway, he's not marriage material. Did I mention he's stingy?
Ugh, trust me. You're not marriage material either. Elena was talking crap about me like that as if she was the one who dumped me.
Are you sure you're just gonna let it go? She's saying you're putting up an act.
I don't care. I'm just happy I can eat my own meal in peace. However, the mood changed when their food started getting delivered to the table.
Oh my gosh, I said don't take my food. Stop it. What? Why? Stop being so stingy. You're the cheap one. Come on, just a bite. Order your own food. If you're just gonna eat a mini salad, go to the convenience store and eat on your own in the office. Why did you come with us?
She was doing the same thing to her coworkers that she did to me. Honestly, I couldn't help but agree with the coworkers quietly. Right? That's what I'm saying. It's normal to not want people to take your food. It's not just me.
It's not good when you eat alone, cheapo. Okay, then are you gonna pay for the amount that you ate? Stop being stingy. That's why you don't have a boyfriend. What? I don't mind being stingy then. You know what you're called to between all the other girls around the office? The witch of give me one bite. What?
Oh my Jesus, yes. 100 times yes.
Yeah, I don't have a boyfriend, but you don't have one either. You kept talking crap about Yamato-kun, but honestly, I can't believe it, and I think he dumped you. You must have kept pestering him for food, huh? What the hell? Alina, you might think that you don't eat much, but you eat a lot. You should come to terms with it.
She was getting told off, and honestly, I couldn't help but laugh. And then my coworker started laughing out loud, and he just couldn't hold back.
Witch!
Hey! You're being too loud! My coworker was heard by Elena, and she looked over here. In that moment, we locked eyes.
What the hell?
She must have been really pissed. She was trying to leave the store, her face a bright red.
Alina, you better take your bill. You're not trying to get us to pay for you, are you?
Her friend stopped her and called her back. She stormed to get the bill and stormed out of the store. After I finished lunch, I saw Elena eating a fried chicken bento box that she must have bought from the convenience store and a bottle of Coke.
I mean, if she didn't eat much, she'd be skinnier.
Huh? Oh, yeah. She actually ate a lot to begin with. I didn't even consider that. I thought she was just someone who ate small portions and only wanted to take other people's food when it was around. I didn't even notice, but she was eating pretty large portions now that I think about it. What a productive lunch break, huh? It all makes sense now. She would often be seen eating convenience store food in the office alone.
I'm Kotomi. When I was in college, I worked at this bar. I was a hostess there. Hello, I'm Kotomi.
You're pretty.
Thanks. And one of my customers started hitting on me. His name was Koji.
You're the one for me. I just know it. Please go out with me.
He was really into me. I said no at first, but he was very persistent. So I finally cracked and decided to give him a chance.
All right, I'll go out with you.
He must love me very much. I've had 2 boyfriends before him, but they were both the quiet type, so I wanted to see what it was like going out with an outgoing guy like Koji. When I started dating him, I quit my job at the bar. It's the right thing to do. But then, a few months later, he started to lose interest in me. What is he up to? He was up to something. He stopped seeing me on weekends, making all kinds of excuses.
Sorry, something came up at work.
He ditched me at the last minute, countless times. Fine. Bye. And this one time, I saw his phone screen. He was sending heart emojis to someone. I knew it. He's cheating on me. Then, Koji got transferred abroad for work. We barely kept in touch after that. I hate leaving things unfinished like this. I gotta talk to him. A few months later, he came back to the country for a few weeks. So, I met up with him. It's time to put an end to this once and for all. Turns out he wanted to break up too. So, that was that, but he was a real jerk about it.
Look, you're just the random girl I met at a bar. You're just not for me, you know? We live in different worlds. Going abroad opened my eyes, you know? I'm just too good for you.
He wasn't even there for a year. He was so full of himself.
What? Did you really think I was serious about you? Yeah, right.
He's the one that hit on me. I wanted to say something, but I just want him out of my life. Just let it go. I decided to keep quiet. Fine, whatever. Goodbye. But then, 3 years later, I started working at my father's company after college. One day, my dad took me to this party and I ran into Koji. No way. Looks like the company he worked for did business with my father's company or something. I had no idea. His company's CEO was a very nice guy. He knew me since I was a little kid.
Hey, Kotomi. It's so good to see you.
Hey there. Pleasure is all mine.
Wow, she's pretty. Yeah, I hear she's brilliant.
What the? No way!
Koji seemed really surprised to see me. And the fact that his boss knew me made it even more uncomfortable for him. Ha ha ha, take that. It was kind of funny. But then, after having a few drinks, Koji said to me,
You used to work at a bar. You were a hostess. You thought I forgot? I bet your dad doesn't know about that. You're such a terrible daughter. Did you know about this, sir?
He was starting to get drunk. What an idiot. I didn't really care, but everyone else there started to panic. He was right. I used to work as a hostess. Back in college, I worked at a bar. But I also worked at a convenience store, a restaurant, a desk job at an office, and more. I wanted to try all kinds of jobs that were out there. I wanted the experience, and I learned a lot in the process. Actually, my dad was the one that told me to try all kinds of things. He wanted me to see the world. He didn't want me growing up as the spoiled daughter of a CEO. So he told me to go out there and see the world. And I learned a lot. It's all thanks to my father. Koji's company's CEO started flipping out.
What the hell is wrong with you? How dare you talk to her like that? Apologize to her right now, idiot. I'm terribly sorry, sir. He's just an idiot. Please forgive him.
Then he apologized to my father.
It's okay, really.
My dad didn't really seem to care, but Koji, his face was all blue now.
I'm so sorry, sir. Please forgive me.
Him and his boss got down on the floor and apologized to my father over and over again. I kind of feel bad for his boss, though. He didn't do anything. I didn't want to ruin the party, so I said to them, Look, it's fine. Really. We just live in different worlds. That's all, so don't worry about it. I said to him.
Ugh.
Koji was speechless. It was kind of funny, so I went next to him and whispered into his ear. We live in different worlds, right? Take that!
I'm sorry.
Koji apologized to me one last time. Sounded like he meant it. But then, a few days later, I heard that he got a demotion. He got transferred to some dead-end position in the middle of nowhere. I kind of felt bad for him, but oh well. Sucks for him. Then, he started texting me. Non-stop.
I'm sorry about everything. I was wrong to let you go. Please marry me.
Seriously.
You're the one for me. Please.
Give me a break. Not sure if he was serious or not, but I was over him. And his boss told me that he wasn't coming back for a while, so I said no and blocked him. Don't text me again. If you do, I'll tell my dad. I never heard from Koji after that. Glad he's out of my life. 2 years later, I met my husband and had 2 beautiful children. Glad everything worked out.
Thank you for watching all the way till the end. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. See you next time!